today. From Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Week 6 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Tennessee Titans taking on the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, it may be a bit soggy, but that certainly hasn't deterred this fan base. A great crowd on hand to battle the raindrops at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan Ball Club entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Taken in at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Titans now for their first drive. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 12 carries and even 60 yards and a touchdown.
Are we playing old school football now? We've got the top 10 rusher in the league. He's sitting at number 10. But he has a chance to move up with a big-time game, so expect that offensive line every time they go to the bench to tell the offensive coordinator, let's run the football.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. A shotgun handoff to Henry. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. And he will have a Titans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So opening drive, 3rd down, they go with a slant. It works.
And I'm wondering when the league's going to figure it out because everyone throws it on 3rd down. You expect pressure, so you want the ball in the hands of the quarterback quickly. It's a 3-step route ordinarily, and you're throwing it where you see the receiver breaking towards you. So it's an inside route. Everyone likes it, and it's executed very well.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Henry out of the pistol. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And for the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. Under center, it'll be the Southern California native standing at 6'4", Sam Darnold.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
From the 31, Darnold, throw left side complete. That's Smith. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Got an extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down. Darnold. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he is going to have a Colts 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early. Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Let's go, D.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
And this won't be enough to pick up the 1st. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll have the 1st down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. And they'll try the air now with Darnold. And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on third down.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And the Colts are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. From the 2, here's 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he takes it in for a Colts score. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Colts are going to take a first quarter lead. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it to 26. The Titans coming back onto the field for their 2nd drive. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first. Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Quick hitter here, it's complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
3rd and 4 is always a tough call. Maybe a little too long to run for it, but not too long to hit him on the quick slant. And that was well executed. Found the window and zipped it right in there.
They'll look to throw again. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. DeForest Buckner. What an effort from him on that play. Big tackle for a loss of 11. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second and 21, a lot of ground to cover. He'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up.
Yeah, that's a nice job there defensively to blanket those receivers on third down. And as a quarterback, all you can do is just loft one toward the bench. Not too close, mind you, and live to punt the football.
Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So here are the Colts to take over. They were losers last week to Carolina, but they've got the lead here as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. To throw is Darnold. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Darnold. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Well, I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield, and he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Play action. It's Darnold. His throw incomplete.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
The Colts on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Well, let's be honest about the whole thing. When you're looking for a reliable set of hands on third down, the first thought is often not fullback. But that's who they turn to there. And he does a nice job of securing the football and picking up the first down.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Off of play action, Darnold. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Arnold. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. A shotgun snap for Darnold. Over the middle, caught by Mims. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Darnold now to throw. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Come on, dog!
The hit comes late. We saw it. There's your flag.
And we know that there's a guideline, right? Ball's gone. You get 1 step. If you're within 1 step of the quarterback, you can hit him as long as it's still done legally. But anything outside of that looks like an extra step.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. A great play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. So his strong first half continues as he finds the end zone here for the 2nd time.
And definitely good blocking at the point of attack. And you just have to love watching the way he can create space down near the goal line. And he's able to take it into the end zone.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect. And this remains a 13-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Titan offense now working their way back onto the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll set up a throw. Bryant with a catch right side. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
There to stop him was Darius Leonard.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Open man here is Conklin. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And that will be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion. With it is Brown. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's found the end zone twice, and now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times. And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how has he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things down? Because he and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Darnold will throw it on 3rd and 1. Finds the open target, Arnold. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Darnold from the gun. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To the air again, Darnold. That's caught right side by Mims. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. It's brought in by Harris. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Now Darnold. He finds his man, complete. That's Arnold. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Here's Darnold. Flush to his right. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And this won't get there, won't be online either. It's no good, off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. The long-distance shot before break comes up empty, but now Charles flipped the script. Time for likely one more play as field position becomes an issue.
Yeah, when you talk about field position, remember, if this kick is missed, the ball comes back to where? The spot that they snapped it from, so field position becomes a factor. I think at this spot, you might also want to think about throwing the Hail Mary. You know, put the ball up in the air. Maybe you can get 6 out of it instead of 3.
Yeah, see what happens. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6.
Hey, Charles, do you give me water? Geez, Chuck, they cut off the halftime show again. Quicker than anticipated, ready for the start of the second half. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. On first down, it's Darnold. Dancing to his left. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 55 rushing yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Darnold on first down. He finds his man, complete. It's Arnold. They'll contain him to just 4, second down.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so. Darnold to throw again. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going. I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They run the counter now on first down, and he's going to work this one down to about the 5. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a second and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Steps away to his left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Sam Darnold, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Colts take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one. Hence the decline.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Out come the Titans now. They'll have it first on offense to start the third. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that is incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now back to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And that went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, we saw that he had a lot of success last week throwing the football, but that hasn't translated to this week. But with his team behind, I don't expect him to back off. I expect him to keep firing.
Now Brown. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Sam Darnold leading the offense out for their next possession. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. Throwing again on second down. Darnold able to connect with Mims.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football. I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get...
And Darnold, he lost the football. But I believe the Colts were able to fall on this when they were. And so possession will remain with Indy. Now a look at Smith. Not sure exactly what happened, but he's still down. We'll check on his status when we get back. The fumble on first down now. Here's second down. Here's Darnold. Escaping the pressure right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is third down. Back to throw, Darnold. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
2nd and 10 coming up here in Nashville, third quarter action. Draw play. This is Henry. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Now we've got movement up front. I think this is going to be on the Titans. Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Back to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Well, the passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Out of the gun now on third down. And he'll get this underneath to Henry. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
A great job there, and that old cliche, taking what the defense gives you, comes right into play. Nothing too out of the ordinary about the throw. Just a little dump off over the middle. But what is out of the ordinary is what he did with it after the catch. Not only did he grab the ball, but how about the significant yardage he picked up after he pulled it in?
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll set up to throw. Complete to Bryant. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Man open left side is Brown. Touchdown! A.J. Brown, his first touchdown on the year. And the Titans are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. Well, don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a 2-score game, the interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw the football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw with this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Darnold. He finds his man, complete. That's Arnold. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the fourth, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them? I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
2nd down and 10, Darnold. Catch made by Slayton. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
The Colts on third down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This time it's 3rd and 3. This will be caught by Brown. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And the Colts are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Throwing again is Darnold. Forced out to his left. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. They'll try to run this one in. Oh, and they hadn't stopped short of the 1st, but a penalty marker down. And that looked like a clear face mask to me. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
Darnold, a sneak. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there. Taking it in. And the Colts look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 19-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Titans offense now, they get set to head back out here. And this game went off the rails early for them and never really got back on track. And these fans, they were expecting to be on the other side of the scoreboard. But that is not the case as we play on here in this 4th quarter. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw. And they're under 200 yards passing for the game. So they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game.
But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Darius Leonard, the linebacker. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And that will bump the lead up to 26. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And trouble there on the kickoff as that goes out of bounds.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. He'll look to throw. Quick slant to Brown. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Henry. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Gonna throw right side here, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down. Back to throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep.
Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a 1st down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. They're going to look to throw.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll look to throw again. And this is caught. Well, they get one back, picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. He has his 2 scores, but still a sizable deficit in this game.
Do you have him in fantasy football this week?
Unfortunately, no.
It's too bad, right? That would have been big points, but he is really trying to rally his team as best he can. Things are not going as well the rest of the way for them. That's why they're down with this deficit. He might need to score a couple more times to give them a chance.
And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be taken in by the Colts. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
75 yards for him on the ground now, and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading reaction.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. From the gun on third down, here's Darnold.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Picked off at the 18. And the return will stop right around the 25.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer.
You ain't doing nothing today. 58, boys, 58.
They'll drop to throw.
A check down here for Henry.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. Back to throw now on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Now the Titans will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now look at this, 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it would appear the Colts are going to win the football game. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And right about now, heck, they might be wishing they did not have a bye week coming up next week. It appears they're going to go into that week off in high spirits as they've got this one well in hand. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for Indianapolis, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Titans, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3 and 3. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in week 8. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.